Hi guys, welcome back to Arispyland. If you're new here, I am Chelsea and this is What's for Dinner. Tonight we are having pork chops and a little potato tomato mixture. This video is in collaboration with Doug's wife here on YouTube. She is a great YouTube friend of mine. You need to go check her out. I'll have her linked in the description box. She does clean with me's, she does cook with me's, she does vlogs. She does hauls, all kinds of things, any kind of entertainment you want. You can go to Doug's wife and find it, and she is so sweet and just enjoyable to watch. So I highly recommend checking her out, and she will be doing a What's for Dinner also. So I will link that for you guys, and you can check that out after you watch mine. So my husband is doing the pork chops, and he is doing, I believe it's called Kickin' Chicken from Aldi, and some seasoning salt. They are a little spicy, but they're really good. I'm adding some Tuscan garlic salt, pepper. We like garlic around here, y'all. All of that to my little yellow potatoes and my little cherry tomatoes. And I also put, I think, some oil in the pan. I normally would do butter. I don't know what I was thinking, but this night we did oil. Now on What's for Dinner, sometimes I show every single night. Oh, don't those look good? Yes, they were good. And sometimes I just show a few nights from the week. I try to keep dinner simple, healthy, cheap, and fun. So you get a combination of all those. And like I said, don't forget to check out Doug's wife and see what she was having for dinner last week. I'm sure it was absolutely delicious at her house. I did saute some kale and butter and just a little garlic in a pan for underneath my pork chop, and then the potatoes and tomatoes are all done. So some of the kids also have a little bit of mac and cheese. I did that because Aria does not like potatoes. So, but yeah, this is our dinner for Saturday. Alright you guys, it is Monday, and for dinner we're gonna have some burgers and fries. Pretty simple. So I got these at Aldi, half price, pre-made burgers here. I am not a fan of frozen pre-made burgers. But these fresh ones I don't mind, and I can even freeze them and eat them and they still taste okay. But the ones you get in the freezer section, I don't know, something tastes funny to me. So I got 3, that gives us 12. There's 7 of us, so that's 5 left over. So my husband can take 1 to work, and if the kids want another one later, you know, we'll have enough for that. And then a bag of fries I got from the discount store. I'll do those in the air fryer. And then I have a whole bunch of sweet potatoes from the discount store. And I'm just gonna make some sweet potato fries for myself with that. So I'm just gonna wash it, cut it, and I'll also like roll it in oil and seasonings and do that in the air fryer. And then I'll probably make a little like bed of kale for my burger, and everyone else, something's beeping at me, will have buns. So I'm gonna get this going. I think Aaron said he's gonna do the patties for me. I don't want to smell them or touch them, so he's gonna do that. And I'm gonna get going on these sweet potato fries, because it'll take, I have the 1 air fryer, and it is a big one. It's like one of the bigger ones, but that sign says take trash out, haha. Which we did, we remembered that. But it'll still take a couple of runs to get the sweet potato and the regular fries all done. So yeah, I'll be back showing you how it's going. Alright, so I cut up my sweet potato. It is no way in perfect fry shape, but I did my best. So I'm just gonna roll that around in some oil, and then I'm going to do pepper, onion powder, and garlic salt. You could obviously do whatever you wanted, but I'm just gonna get this all rolled up and popped into my air fryer. Alright, I just dumped these in here, and they are going to air fry for 10 minutes at 400. Okay, so Aaron's gonna make the burgers, and we are just gonna dump on some seasoning salt and some pepper for those. Let them cook, get out some cheese and stuff in a minute. And then I decided to go ahead and do a little bit of oil and seasoning on these waffle frozen fries, just for a little bit of extra fun. So he's gonna work on that while I work on this. Alright, the sweet potato fries are done. They are so good, y'all. So good. Aaron said it tastes like a restaurant. So yeah, I'm excited to munch down on those. Alright, so dinner is done. I don't want any meat, so I'm just gonna have kale. And that's just with butter and pepper and garlic salt, and then the sweet potato fries, and then we got out some blackberries, blueberries, and we made some whipped cream with whipping cream. And then the kiddos are having, and my husband, buns with all the toppings that they want, fries, and some of the berries and stuff. So this is our dinner for Monday. Alright, tonight's dinner, let's see, is this Tuesday? Aaron and Melissa made it, so they made some sausage patties and cooked those. fried up some red potatoes and just some fried eggs. And then we got some blackberries on the table. This is Liam's plate. I think I'm gonna get some blueberries out too. And yeah, this is our breakfast for dinner. Good? Good? Alright, so I already showed you our dinner for today, but if you've been around, you know that we have that around lunchtime because of my husband's work schedule. And then me and the kids eat again later on, obviously, because we're not going to eat dinner at, you know, 1 or 2 and be done for the day. So I'm just going to show you this little recipe that I came up with the other day. I crave tomatoes when I'm pregnant, but I don't like tomatoes, so I have to be like creative. So I decided to make like a homemade tomato soup, which I normally don't like tomato soup either, but I thought, you know, I'll dip my sandwich in it, it'll be good. It ended up being so good I didn't even want my sandwich, I gave it away. And yeah, and all my kids liked it. Now, and they don't normally like tomato soup either, except for dipping grilled cheese in, but we all ate it with a spoon. We were happy. However, it was just a small serving amount that I made because I didn't know if we'd like it. I didn't want to waste a lot of food, things like that. So I would say it's enough for 2 to 3 people if you do it how I do it. Also keep in mind, if you've been around you know this, but if you're new you don't, I'm a dump cook. I don't measure things, I dump them in. Unless I'm trying a new recipe that has all the directions there, then I kind of will measure it, but sometimes I still just dump it in. So you can look at what I'm doing and adjust it for your family. If I was going to make this for a real dinner for every single one of my family members, which is 7, you know, of us, I would up it, but I'm gonna make it again this evening, and I will try not to pick out on it so much so more people can have it. Otherwise it's really for 2 to 3 people. Yesterday I had 2 bowls of it and Melissa had 1. She eats like a grown-up, you know, she's bigger than me. So I had 2, she had 1, but all my kids liked it so much they're like, please save me some. I didn't, I was a mean mommy, I ate it all. But they had just eaten. So tonight I'm gonna eat less, give them some. I would make it bigger, but I don't have enough stuff. Let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, here's what I'm doing. Okay, this is just made up, but it tasted great, like really good. So I got a bunch of these cherry tomatoes at that discount store. This is my last one left. So what I did yesterday, I dumped in a container of the cherry tomatoes. I dumped in some heavy whipping cream. If you want to keep it low fat, do almond milk. Into my blender, I blended that up. Of course it got thick. This is heavy whipping cream. I put it into my pot. I added in some chicken broth. Again, I don't measure. For seasonings, I did Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, garlic salt, Tuscan garlic. I was bored, I guess. I was just dumping everything in. And some pepper. I also put in a little bit of cheese near the end and stirred that up. So these 2 things in the blender, added it to a pot with all this, let it come to a boil, simmered it for a couple of minutes. It was amazing. So if I was going to make this for my whole family, I would either try it with, well, there goes my Italian seasoning. I would try it with bigger tomatoes, or obviously have to use, I would say, 3 of these. If you don't have any tomatoes and you want to make this, you could probably use tomato soup or crushed tomatoes. That would work. Hey, I have crushed tomatoes and I have tomato soup. I can maybe do that to make this bigger for everybody. But my original recipe that turned out so well, I did not do that. I just used cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to blend up my cherry tomatoes, diced tomatoes, and heavy whipping cream. Here's what that looks like with just the tomatoes and the heavy whipping cream. I got it on medium heat until I add in all my other stuff. I'm trying to open chicken broth. And I used not quite half of this. I'm going to finish up this container because I want it to be enough for all the kiddos. Now I'm going to get all my seasonings in there and I'll turn it up and let it get to a boil. I forgot to mention I also do about 4 just little pinches of the stevia. You could do any kind of sweetener that you want to, but just to help with the tartness of the tomato. Alright, got all the ingredients added in there. Have it on high. Hopefully the can does not mess up the taste. We'll find out if it tastes canny or not. I'm sure it will a little bit, but it was so good yesterday. We all wanted it again today. Alright, so here it is all done. I've served, let's see, 4 kiddos. Melissa stepped out with my mom for a minute, so they'll be back, so she doesn't have any, but there's enough for her and probably, oh, let's see, this is my bowl. This is how much was left. So like I said, if I was making it and my husband was going to be here, I'd have to up that. But for just us, it works pretty well, and you could always pair it with grilled cheese. I think spinach would be really good in here. I think kale would be good in here. Quinoa would be good in here. All kinds of stuff to make it more filling, but everyone seems to really like this. And yeah, did I mention that I put my cheese in? I let it get to a boil, then I added my cheese and let it simmer. So anyway, we're gonna go sit down and have this as our actual dinner for whatever day this is, Tuesday. You guys, so here is tonight's dinner, brought to you by Mom was tired, did not want to cook. So I did a 3-pound bag of chicken tenderloins in my air fryer, and I just seasoned those with French onion mix. I did 2 boxes of just macaroni and cheese, and then I cut up some zucchini and sauteed those with like that Creole, I can't say it, seasoning. Yeah, and that's that. So that's our dinner. Oh, I also put butter in that when I sauteed it. So yeah, this is our dinner for today. Mine will look like this with no macaroni. Alright you guys, for tonight's dinner, it's kind of just a throw together meal. I was really wanting some like beef stew. I didn't have the stuff, so I just improvised. So I got potatoes and carrots and ground sausage, garlic, butter. I love using that French onion soup mix for things. So yeah, just a really simple meal, and it actually turned out really well. It tasted like stew. So we all enjoyed it. So I just grind up my onions. I do the same with my garlic, and then I end up chopping up my carrots and potatoes because obviously they're not going to fit in that chopper. This was also a really cheap meal. I had everything on hand, and I wanted to find a way to use that ground sausage that wasn't a breakfast, because we typically use the ground sausage for breakfast. It's just like an easy no-brainer, and so it was nice to think of something to use that for that wasn't breakfast. So I browned my sausage separately. I just didn't want to have to worry about the grease and everything, so I browned that on the stove. Once everything was chopped up, I put it all together with the butter and the onion and everything in my pan, my skillet on about 300. Once the butter melted, I mixed it all in, got it all stirred up really well. And this was a really quick dinner too. I think start to finish it was about 30-35 minutes. It did not take long, and it was pretty good. Alright, then I add in a cup of water after that had cooked for about 10 minutes. That just helps the potatoes and the carrots cook and get soft faster. So it's just a little trick that I use to help those things cook without taking quite as long. Then I added my ground beef. Or my ground sausage. There wasn't really a lot of grease from that. I'm not sure why. So I guess I could have cooked it in there all together at the same time, but I went ahead and added it in so it can be absorbing the flavor, and then I put the lid back on and cooks for about another 20 minutes. Like I said, altogether about 30-35 minutes for this whole meal. Alright, it is all done. We ended up putting a piece or a loaf of French bread, cutting it up, putting butter on it, and air frying it for a few minutes. Then we're going to have some garden salad on the side with ranch, and here's how that dinner turned out. It only took about 30 minutes for everything to get soft and mixed together. So yeah, this is going to be our dinner for today.